It's March. It's the middle of winter and everything is just brown. You want to escape to somewhere warm. How about taking a road trip to the Gulf of Mexico using points for choice hotel stays along the way? Hi, everybody. DUGROZ here with DUGROZ Reports. Today, that's exactly what we're going to do. You're going to take a simulated road trip along with me using choice hotels. Let's dive in. If you sign up for the Choice Privileges Select MasterCard, which is issued by Wells Fargo, you're going to get 60,000 choice points after spending $3,000 in your first 3 months. Now, since you earn at least 1x on all of the purchases, that means you'll have at least 63,000 points. You and your buddy are both going to sign up for this credit card in order to take your epic hotel road trip. So you're going to have 126,000 points to work with. Will that be enough? Well, we'll find out. And if not, let's remember that with this card, you also get 5x on gas stations, grocery stores, home improvement stores, and phone plan services, as well as 10x on any paid stays at Choice Hotels. We're starting out in the town of Ottumwa, Iowa, and to get to the Gulf of Mexico, the entire journey is just a little over 1,000 miles. Google Maps says that that'll take you about 17 hours if you drive straight through. Well, who wants to drive straight through? I mean, in any sort of road trip, half the fun of the journey is what you see and do along the way. So we're going to make 3 stops along the way as we take this epic road trip before we arrive at the Gulf of Mexico. The first leg of our journey will be to go from Ottumwa, Iowa to Rolla, Missouri, and that's about 4.5 hours roughly. I've been to Rolla before. You can call it Rolla, you can call it Rolla. Some of the old timers might even just say roll, but whatever you do, don't call it Rolla. You'll be staying at the Quality Inn. This is actually located in the nearby town of St. Robert, and it's near the military installation of Fort Leonard Wood. This Quality Inn gets 4.2 stars on Google, and if you were to pay the cash rate with tax, it would be $138 per night. Always look down here at the small number to see the price with tax. All of these choices that I've made have at least 4 stars on Google reviews, and you're always getting at least 1 cent per point or very, very close to that. You leave on March 13th, right after your last class of the day if you're a student, or maybe you log off of work early. And with that 4.5-hour trip, you've got time to check in. You get a 2-queen bedroom, and since it's normally $138, but you're only spending 16,000 choice points, that comes out to 0.9 cents per point. There's a swimming pool, so maybe you take a dip in the pool. Free breakfast, a nice-looking set of queen beds. Maybe you have a buddy from high school who's in the Army, and you're going to go visit him because he's stationed at Fort Leonard Wood nearby. On the morning of March 14th, you and your buddy are going to wake up in Rolla, Missouri, enjoy your free breakfast at the Quality Inn, and you're going to hit the road towards Memphis, Tennessee. After a journey of a little under 5.5 hours, you will arrive at the Ascend Hotel Napoleon, Memphis. Now, this hotel checks in at 4.1 stars out of 5 on Google. Lest you think that's kind of low, I did poke around. This is a very nice hotel, very nice interior. It's right in downtown Memphis, 6 blocks from the river, only a few blocks from Beale Street, which is a famous area with jazz clubs and lots of nightlife and those sorts of things. Well, hey, you're a 20-something and you love nightlife, so you and your buddy are going to have a good time enjoying that. The reason why it's not higher rated, I think, is because a lot of old fuddy-duddies complained about the loud music coming from outside between like 7 p.m. and 11:30 p.m. Well, of course there's going to be loud music. It's downtown Memphis. Now, the rooms are variable, which means you'll get somewhere between 1.4 and 1.6 cents per point. What do I mean by that? Well, you have choices here, and both choices are 20,000 choice points. Pun intended. You can choose the 1-room king suite if you want something with more space and more luxurious, but you'll have to have an argument about who sleeps in the king bed, and who sleeps on the pull-out bed in the sofa. It's very nice, and it's 1.6 cents per point. Otherwise, if you don't want to have that argument, you could choose the 2 queen deluxe corner room. It's a little smaller, not quite as much square footage and luxury, but you each get your own bed, and that's 1.4 cents per point. So choose your own adventure. Go out and enjoy that Memphis nightlife. Before we go any further on this particular YouTube channel, I talk about finding epic value, including, but not limited to, credit card rewards for the average American. Does that sound interesting to you? If it does, please click the thumbs up button and please subscribe to this channel. Let's keep going. If you stayed up past your bedtime in Memphis, don't worry, this next part of the journey is the shortest leg at right around 4 hours, and you're headed to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You'll be staying at the Country Inn Tuscaloosa, a perfectly cromulent roadside hotel. This checks in at 4.1 stars out of 5 on Google reviews, and it comes with a free breakfast. Now, for a somewhat basic or maybe slightly nicer than basic hotel, you might be wondering why it's $321 per night. Well, Tuscaloosa is the home of the University of Alabama, including the nearby Paul Bryant Museum, named after famous coach Paul Bear Bryant. And that's a place where a lot of people go to see all things Alabama football. There's no sporting events that day. Maybe that's a place you would go. I'm not a particular fan of Alabama, but I am of college football in general, so I would enjoy seeing it. You're going to get the One King Executive Suite. Unfortunately, yes, that means you and your buddy are going to have that argument about who sleeps on the sofa sleeper. But hey, at least you're getting 1.1 cent per point. You're almost there. On the morning of March 16th, you and your friend are going to wake up in Tuscaloosa, drive 4.5 hours to the Gulf of Mexico. You have arrived in Gulf Shores, Alabama. There are very few choice properties that are located right on the beach on the Gulf Shore, but this is one of them. The Sleep Inn on the Beach, Gulf Shores. I've been to Gulf Shores. I've been to the Gulf Coast many times. The white sand beaches are very beautiful, and I'm sure a nice respite from the Midwest in the middle of March. This hotel checks in at 4.1 stars out of 5. And you'll be having a 2 double bedroom with a balcony. Now, I can't guarantee you're going to be on the side that faces the beach, but maybe since you have that card and a little bit of status, they'll make sure you get a beachfront room. This would normally be $318 per night, but instead you're paying 30,000 choice points, which checks in at 1.1 cent per point. Now, will it be nice enough to enjoy the outdoor pool? Well, the average temperature this time of year is right around 70 degrees there in Gulf Shores, so probably not. But you can enjoy the Gulf front, dip your toes in the ocean, socialize with fellow college students or young adults, and you can also go to the nearby town of Foley, Alabama, and eat at a place called the Whacked Out Wiener. I was there last year in the spring. Pretty interesting. So did we meet our goal, which was to accomplish this road trip for 126,000 points or less, the amount that you would get at a bare minimum with 2 sign-up bonuses on the Choice Privileges Select MasterCard from Wells Fargo? Let's take a look at the numbers. When we add the totals together of these 4 nights, that comes to 96,000 choice points with an average of 1.1 cents per point. Had you paid cash, you would have spent $1,048. And instead, you spent less than $200 on the annual fees for these 2 cards. That's not too shabby. Now, I know what you're thinking, but DUGROZ, they have to get home somehow. They can't just live on the beach. Okay, let's look at routes you can take to get home. So if you spend 2 nights in Gulf Shores at the Sleep Inn, that would be reasonable. As long as you leave Tuscaloosa at a moderately good time, it's a short trip down there. You can get there around noon on one day and leave at noon 2 days later. You have basically a full 48-hour period to enjoy the beach and your little trip down there for spring break. It would be a bit of a haul, but on the way home, you could skip Tuscaloosa and Memphis and go straight to Rolla, Missouri. That would be just under a 12-hour drive. Yes, that is a tiresome day, but you're young, you're full of energy, you can get it done. So if we take that route home, we add an extra night at the sleep in, and we add one night on the return trip in Rolla, that brings our total to 142,000 choice points. You would have spent 1,504. Now, in that particular case, you're thinking, we didn't meet the goal because you only had 126,000 from the two sign up bonuses. And you're right. So there's a couple different routes that you could go. One route would be you could just pay cash at a cheap place. I'm guessing that Quality Inn and Rolla is not very expensive. You could look for something less expensive. But the idea is you are getting a lot of value. But wait, there is another option. You see, on the Choice Privileges Select MasterCard, not only do you get a 60,000 point sign up bonus, but every year you keep the card, you also get 30,000 points as a thank you for being part of our group, just for keeping the card another year. So if you can plan more than a year in advance, each person will get more than 90,000 points. And if you double that, now you and your buddy have 180,000 points to work on this trip, meaning you can get there, spend 2 nights, and get back with points to spare, all for less than $400 in annual fees. Given that that would have cost over $1,500 if you paid cash, that's epic value. Let's say you want to do even more. I propose for this option the deluxe version of the trip. In this version, you take the exact same route to get there, but now you're spending 3 nights at the Sleep Inn on the beach. And on the way back, you're going to stop in Memphis again and enjoy that Ascend property. And you're going to stop in Rolla, Missouri again so that you don't exhaust yourself on the drive home. All of that put together would be 192,000 points, which would normally cost over $2,000. Instead of waiting for year two on your choice cards, how about one of you signs up for the Citi Premier MasterCard issued by Citibank? Now, this card has a very reasonable annual fee of $95, and it gets you 3x on hotels, 3x on air travel, 3x on restaurants, supermarkets, and gas stations, as well as one other point on all purchases. If you spend at least $4,000 in the first 3 months, you get 60,000 points. So you know you're going to be getting at least 64,000 points with spend. Now, the great thing about the Citi Premier card is it enables you to transfer points from Citi to Choice at a 1-to-2 ratio. So if we do the math on the deluxe road trip, you've already earned 126,000 points from the 2 select Choice MasterCards that you and your buddy signed up for. You need 66,000 more points. Because you can transfer them 1-to-2 from Citi, you only need 33,000 of your points from that 64,000 point sign up bonus to get there. So you put that together, the 66,000, which ended up coming over from Citi, as well as the 126,000 from your 2 sign up bonuses on the choice cards themselves, you are getting the needed 192,000 points with plenty of Citi points left over. What an epic trip you're going to have that you can tell your grandkids about. With a little bit of planning, you and your buddy have obtained over $2,000 in hotel stays by paying less than $300 in annual fees. And both the Choice Hotels card and the Citi Premier have no annual fee downgrade options to other cards. So if you decide it's not worth paying the annual fee in year 2 and beyond, no problem. Just make that downgrade and you can keep the no annual fee cards for free. Guys, let me know in the comments section what the most epic road trip is that you've ever taken, and if you would consider using Choice Hotels as an option for road trips. Before you click the like button and head on out, I do want to mention that there is another way in which you can support my channel in a more meaningful manner, and that's by becoming a DUGROZ Diehard. A DUGROZ Diehard is my one and only channel membership level, so just find the join button on any of my videos and click that. It's $3 a month and there's no commitment. You can stop that at any time. DUGROZ Diehards not only get early access to all of my videos, but the discussions that we have both on videos and community posts tend to be a lot deeper and more meaningful than what you see on these videos. And most importantly, I do publish quite a few members only videos. Examples include manufactured spending, point valuations, awkward social interactions with the general public, and my criticisms of various approaches to credit cards, what I like, what I don't like. These are videos that are usually either too nerdy or too sensitive for the general YouTube algorithm. I'll put some of the names of my DUGROZ diehards somewhere here on the screen, and if you would consider joining, I would really appreciate it. If you're already a diehard, thank you very much. And as always, may your spending be frugal, and may your points be plenteous. Thanks for watching.